These videos give a glimpse of what is happening on the ground in Sudan's catastrophic civil war. Most were posted online recently by accounts sympathetic to the powerful paramilitary, the Rapid Support Forces, or RSF. The soldiers are boasting about capturing the major city of el-fasher, which had been under siege for many months. The fighters also filmed themselves carrying out gruesome executions. Many of these videos are too graphic to broadcast, and the few we will be heavily blurred. But they're important because they show the latest shocking violence in a civil war which has seen at least tens of thousands killed, more than 14 million estimated displaced, and led to warnings that atrocities are being carried out. ABC News Verify has been documenting what's being uploaded, trying to understand how the bloodshed is impacting the lives of civilians caught up in it.
The world continues to look away because it's comfortable to label it too complicated.
This latest conflict in Sudan began in April 2023 when fighting broke out in the capital Khartoum, but its origins go much further back. In 2019, Omar al-Bashir was ousted in a coup after popular protests against his 3-decade-long rule. A joint civilian-military transitional government eventually took over.
But sadly, the transition to democracy was hijacked by the two armed groups that were in existence at the time.
The Sudanese Armed Forces, or SAF, led by General Burhan, and the Rapid Support Forces, or RSF, led by a man known as Hemeti. The two together staged another coup in 2021.
I think they both feared the likelihood of a civilian takeover, so they were unlikely allies in that moment. The RSF was created by Omar al-Bashir to do a lot of dirty work in the Sudan that the Sudanese armed forces may have been less willing to do, but he also empowered the SAF to control the RSF, so that competition had been inbuilt into the relationship between the RSF and the Sudanese armed forces right from the beginning.
They turned their guns on each other in 2023, and now, after years of fighting, the SAF control much of the east, including the capital, having recently retaken it, and the RSF control much of the west, including, as of late last month, the capital of North Darfur state, el-fasher, which had served as the SAF's last major stronghold in Darfur.
The Sudanese armed forces and the RSF have no concern for the civilian population. They're caught in the middle.
Accessing cities like el-fasher is difficult and dangerous, so monitoring of the war is largely left to aid groups still operating there and via videos posted online, but also satellites capturing developments from space. On October 27, just after el-fasher was taken by the RSF, war crime investigators at the Yale Humanitarian Research Lab noticed this, what they call objects and reddish earth discoloration appearing in imagery. The analysis says vehicles can also be seen blocking roads. The next day, the objects remain in place.
They did not appear in the baseline imagery from a couple days before. There was no presence of objects between 1.3 to 2 meters in length, and that range on the object is critical because a human body lying horizontally in 30 centimeter satellite imagery will measure in terms of pixels between 1.3 to full 2 meters. The discoloration, it's usually about 0.5 meter in size, and it occurs when the bodies first appear, and that's the blood discoloration. We mathematically measure it, and it comes back mathematically as true red.
At a university building on October 27, the scene repeats. The next day, more objects and discoloration can be seen. We have geolocated this video to inside the main building. It's extremely graphic and shows a man kneeling on the ground before he is executed. Many more bodies can be seen. Nearby, in a facility known as the Saudi Hospital, objects are again seen in imagery from October 28.
We were horrified by reports of the tragic killings of more than 460 people, both patients and their companions.
We've been speaking with a worker from the Saudi hospital who managed to escape el-fasher. For safety reasons, we won't identify them. One of their messages to us simply read, "All my patients, my staff and everyone else in the hospital were killed. They shot them all." On the outskirts of town, at an embankment constructed by the RSF to encircle the city, this can be seen in imagery from October 31. It shows burnt-out vehicles and many bodies. The aftermath of this carnage was filmed by the RSF. ABC News Verified geolocated the video to the same location.
What shocked me is how little the world has cared. And there's no Save Darfur lawn signs. There's no protests like Gaza.
The RSF's leader acknowledged what he called violations had taken place.
فنحن من هنا بنعلن تشكيل لجنة التحقيق.
Some of them, they also recognize their relatives on cameras, that on the brutal videos that we have all seen circulating on the media. Some people, they recognize the relatives within those people. This is very horrific thing to watch, especially on your own people. You know that you have people there, whether they are facing the same fate or they are already being killed, you don't know.
Musab Hassan is the Sydney leader of the Zahawa community, one of the indigenous non-Arab tribes which has been persecuted by the RSF.
Hundreds of our extended family members, they were inside el-fasher when the attack happened. Now we have nothing, we have no information about their fate.
Sudanese Australians with family in other parts of the country have also experienced loss.
The biggest fear was for RSF to get anyone's phones and find a photo or a text message that documents what's happening. Because what happens immediately is the person is killed. And this actually happened to my cousin, who was sadly abducted by RSF over nothing but a voice note that he sent on a WhatsApp group criticizing RSF.
The human cost of this war may take years to properly understand or may never truly be known.
We know that we experience losing our loved ones, but the most painful thing is the uncertainty of your loved ones, whether he's alive or she's dead or she's a hostage. That's even more painful. We'll be looking for answers for a long time.